In this video, we would like to tell you about genetic tests called exome and genome sequencing. Exome and genome sequencing are genetic tests which look for spelling mistakes in your DNA. Almost every cell in our body has DNA. DNA provides instructions to the cells on how to work. We inherit half of our DNA from our mother and half from our father. There are thousands of spelling mistakes in our DNA known as genetic variants, and sometimes these can cause problems. Exome and genome sequencing are tests which look for these spelling mistakes. To do this test, we need a sample of blood. You have been asked to sign a consent form for this test. This is a normal part of any genetic test. However, there are a few things we want to make sure that you understand. Although exome and genome sequencing are very useful tests, they cannot pick up all of the genetic causes of disease. Therefore, a normal result cannot totally rule out an underlying genetic problem. As exome and genome sequencing look at so much of the DNA, there is a possibility that the lab will find a spelling mistake which does not explain the original reason for the test. This is called an incidental finding. It is very rare for the lab to tell us about incidental findings, and they will only report it if something can be done about it, such as further testing or treatment. It is also possible that the test might identify a genetic spelling mistake which is not yet fully understood. This is called a variant of uncertain significance. We all have thousands of genetic spelling mistakes across our DNA, and most of these do not cause any problem. However, it can sometimes be difficult to work out which of these cause disease and which are harmless. If we do find a genetic variant of uncertain significance, sometimes a bit more time or research is needed to get to the bottom of it. Exome and genome sequencing is often performed as a trio. This means that the lab looks at the DNA of mum, dad and child and compares the results. It is important to know that when doing a trio analysis, the lab may find that family relationships are not as expected. This could be that the child's father is not their biological father, or that the parents are close relatives. If you have any concerns about this, please speak to a member of the medical team and they will maintain full confidentiality. Finally, a genetic diagnosis can have implications for other family members. If a spelling mistake is found, it may be that other members of the family would benefit from genetic testing. Also, a genetic diagnosis in a child can help give parents a better idea of how likely they are to have another child in the future affected by the same condition. The results of this type of testing can take anywhere from weeks to months to come back, depending on a number of factors. The results will be given to you by one of the doctors looking after you. Exome and genome sequencing can be very useful tests to detect an underlying genetic diagnosis. However, if you would prefer not to have this test done, there may still be other genetic tests available. We hope you have found this video helpful. Please feel free to discuss it further with the medical team and ask any questions you might have.